Trump took questions from reporters during the meeting with the UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer, also known as Kid Starver. We're going to get started there, obviously.
Well,
Trump is doing big deals. He's doing money molestation. Donald Trump hasn't stopped his posture. It's the same old, same old. On the one hand, he's molesting the money pretty hard right now, specifically the European vassals. He's demanding more tithing from the European vassal states, you know, in the form of trade deals, okay? Europe, get excited. You're going to have to spend more of your taxable revenue, more of the revenue that comes from taxes on American weapons. You won't be able to spend that on your healthcare. You won't be able to spend that on your roads, on your public transit. It's going to look a lot more like America in Europe. Also, get ready to demolish your roads and your walkable infrastructure because America has decided that you need to have these child-killing tanks running around in your streets that we like to call Ford F-150s. Your tone is enthusiastic, but your word sounds like a threat. No, it's just, I mean, think about how much fun we're having here in the United States of America. Like when you look at a 1990 Ford F-150, which is still pretty sizable, right? It's still a pretty big truck. And then you look at a 2021 Ford F-150 tank. I mean, think about how exciting it is that you now have by force will have to drive a tank instead. You're skipping the 1990 Ford F-150 pickup truck, which has a larger bed, by the way. These trucks had larger beds than this one. Bro, the EU could import these, but no one will buy them. Excuse me. You will buy them. You will buy them at gunpoint. If you don't buy them, how can we know you don't love freedom? If you don't buy them, we might start thinking you're looking a little Iranian, okay? Or perhaps even scarier, looking a little Chinese. Let me tell you, you do not want to look Chinese, okay? What are we talking about? You need to have these cars, these tanks. I don't want to call them cars. They're not cars, they're tanks. You need to have these tanks. In Belgium, only businesses are still allowed to buy them. Law can't buy them as a private individual. Excuse me, that law needs to change. Obviously, how will I know you're a patriotic American if you don't have a tank that you're driving? Also, what's more American than making every man a business? Okay, maybe in Belgium, we've decided every man is a business. Now you can all have this. We will not stop until every country is America. Anyway, let's get a little bit of an inside look into how this relationship is working.
And fantastic to be here at Turnberry with you. Thank you so much for showing us around and having this opportunity to sit in this fantastic ballroom, which is absolutely incredible, and to start talking about some of the issues that are most pressing in your country, in my country, and in particular, we've had the opportunity to talk about the situation in Gaza and the intolerable situation, including images of starvation. And I think both of us know that we have to get to that ceasefire and we have to increase humanitarian aid in. And thank you for what you've already been doing, are doing, and are committed to, because without you, this would not be capable of resolution. And I think that if we can work not just on the pressing issues of the ceasefire, but also on this issue of getting humanitarian aid in at volume, at speed. And then we've discussed a plan for what then happens afterwards. I think we can do our very best to alleviate what is an awful situation at the moment. So thank you very much for the discussion we've had so far and the discussion we're about to continue.
I never thought I'd see so many old white men suck each other off this aggressively, but with a European accent, you know? Because like we watch Fox News all the time here, and whenever Trump is on, you see every American gargling his and also sometimes his balls. But I never thought I would see that like Euro style. You know what I mean? It's cool. It's cool to watch. It's like it's definitely a different change of pace. It's like it gives it an air of elitism almost. Yes, Mr. President, you've done such a fantastic job. Thank you for exploiting the entire European continent. It's very. Yeah, it's like, it's refined and sophisticated is right. That's exactly what it is.
It's been great being with you, and thank you very much, Mr. Prime Minister. And you've done a fantastic job with regard to the trade deal. You know, they wanted a trade deal here for years, many years, through many different terms of different people, and you got it done. So I want to congratulate you on that, and it's a great deal for both. It brings unity. We didn't need unity, but it brings us even closer together. I think it's good for both parties. We also discussed, obviously, Gaza. And I think before we get to phase 2, which is, what's going to happen afterwards, we want to get the children fed. We made a contribution a week ago of $60 million, all going into food. We only hope the food goes to the people that need it, because so much, as you know, when you do something there, it gets taken by Hamas or somebody, but it gets taken. But
damn, even Trump started adding "or somebody." Who's the somebody, bro? Now he's like, all right, even he's adding qualifiers. It's crazy. Maybe it's not just Hamas. Maybe it's somebody else. Who knows? Nobody knows. Nobody knows who's taking the food. Also, Trump looks like absolute doo-doo butter, dude. What the hell is this? Bro, he looks extra today. What is happening? Trump experiences Scottish air for the first time, and it instantly destroys him. He's like getting refeeding syndrome, but from not not sucking in American air for the first time, dude. He's like, his body is not responding positively. Please melt some tar in my vicinity. Quick, give me burger. I need burger. Pronto. I'm dying. Air is too clean. Not enough burger. Give me smog.
So that's an ongoing process. Hamas has become very difficult to deal with in the last couple of days because they don't want to give up these last 20, because they think as long as we have them, they have protection. But I don't think it can work that way. So I'm speaking to Bibi Netanyahu, and we are coming up with various plans. We're going to say it's a very difficult situation.
Why is he still running defense for Israel when reports indicate he's privately pissed off at Bibi? Because the reports are bullshit. It's the same nonsense that Biden did, where he was like, "Oh, look alive! I'm so mad. I'm gonna give a talking to. I'm gonna tell him, he's gonna have a come to Jesus moment." But with Israel and the United States of America, it's this, okay? It's this. It's a unified front. Israel does whatever America wants. Now, I will say, post-Obama, especially under Trump 1, Israel increasingly took over the steering wheel of America's foreign policy and its interventions in the region. They took the driving seat, okay? They took the driver's seat and they started driving the car. That's for sure. And Biden did not scale that back in any capacity. As a matter of fact, he put his foot on the gas. He basically took Israel's leg and pushed it down. But ultimately, we're in the car together. So the idea that Trump is mad or whatever, it's bullshit. Trump could get more mad in the future if it becomes like a bigger problem, if it becomes a bigger issue, right? If there are more consequences for this allegiance, then maybe Trump will scale back or force Israel to scale back. But once again, that requires continued pressure. That requires Trump's base to feel some type of way. Here's Barack Ravid reporting on Trump's statement. There's real starvation in Gaza. You can't fake that. That was one of the craziest things I saw, at least. I saw a New York Post report and even heard from some Hasbara accounts that were trying to say, oh, that famous photo of the starving child is actually fake. Why is it fake? Because that child has a genetic muscular disorder. And they're so echo chambered. Israel accounts are so unimaginably echo chambered that they literally think the best counter to a now infamous photo is to say, Israel isn't just starving all children. I mean, Israel isn't just starving healthy children. Israel is starving children with genetic diseases as well. Israel is starving children that have debilitating genetic diseases. It's one of the most insane things I've ever seen. You have to be completely out of your mind. Hamas's fake narrative exposed truth about the Gazan child who made global headlines. Israel officials confirm 5-year-old Osama al-Raqab suffers from genetic diseases, not a war-related starvation. Gaza starvation poster child has genetic condition. Starved Gaza child suffers from genetic illness. Kojat, a photo of a 5-year-old Osama El-Rakab has gone viral, used to falsely depict Israel as responsible for his condition, claiming Israel is starving children. The facts: Osama suffers from serious genetic illness unrelated to the war. On June 12, we actively coordinated Osama's exit from Gaza with his mother and brother to the Ramon airport. He's now receiving treatment in Italy. That last part is also fake. I don't think that that's what's going on anyway. It's so crazy because there are so many starving people, like so many starving children. There are a ton of different photos of starving babies, starving parents, the doctors, the healthcare professionals, and people that work for Oxfam that are the people that are not supposed to be starving under any circumstance. No one is supposed to be starving, but like doctors especially are not supposed to be losing weight in a battlefield. Remember, there are a special status. We are talking about like Americans and Westerners who supposedly have special status in this circumstance. Like the reason why they go to this field of battle, this war, this genocide, is specifically because they use their bodies and the special status that they have in the eyes of the international community as a human shield to like defend the civilian population. Everyone is starving. Hostages are starving. I've never seen something like this before. Like, I've never seen an instance where, like, a Doctors Without Borders doctor is visibly skinnier, gaunt, week after week.
If they didn't have the hostages, things would go very quickly. But they do, and we know where they have them in some cases, and you don't want to go riding roughshod over that area because that means those hostages will be killed. Now, there are some people that would say, well, that's the price you pay, but we don't like to say that. We don't want to say that. And I don't think the people of Israel want to say that either, which is pretty amazing. A lot of people would say, just get it done and whatever it is. You could also say speed might be better for the hostages. You go through, with speed, you may have a better chance because they're in deep trouble. They're in deep trouble. You saw October 7th, and you saw what the damage and the horror that they committed. People can't forget that. They tend to forget it, but they can't forget. That was one of the most evil things I've ever seen.
Yeah. October 7th, one of the most evil things I've ever seen. 22 months of October 7th, twice a week. Not that evil because the other side is brown and scary. They deserve it. That's it. That's what it is. That's all this is.
We have some good news because the recent war that you just saw, they just announced, I see, the newest of the 5, now this would be 6 that we've stopped. I've stopped 6 wars in the last, I'm averaging about a war a month, but the last 3 were very close together. India and Pakistan and a lot of them. Congo was just, and Rwanda was just done. But you probably know, I won't go into it very much because I don't know the final numbers yet. I don't know. Numerous people were killed, and I was dealing with 2 countries that we get along with very well, very different countries from certain standpoints. They've been fighting for 500 years, intermittently, and we solved that war. You probably saw it just came out over the wire, so we solved it through trade. I said, I don't want to trade with anybody that's killing each other, so we just got that one solved. And I'm going to call the 2 prime ministers who I got along with very, very well and speak to them right after this meeting and congratulate them. But it was an honor to be in.
I feel like I talk about this so much that it's like a broken record, but it's probably not good for overall discourse when you have the president from the bully pulpit consistently lying. Like, even outside of the moral depravity, the moral rot, it's got to be strange. Like, I don't know what it does to our like understanding of the truth in general when the president will just be like, yes, oh, these trade deals are fantastic. Why? Because there's they're giving us $500 quintillion. Oh, I stopped this war. I stopped that war. This war was going on for 1,000 years and I stopped it. Like, none of the things he's saying are correct. The only things he can like hold up as accomplishments for his administration are just that he cooks up seemingly on the spot. Things that he is not necessarily putting a lot of thought into. Very strange behavior, very strange set of circumstances. He just lies about everything. It's no different than saying, like, I found unicorns. Unicorns are real. I found them and I'm breeding them. I'm breeding them left and right. You can see them everywhere. Okay. I mean, you can choose to believe it, or maybe you can like look into it, right? You can look into it a little bit further and realize that, oh, he's just talking about horses. Like, those are just horses and they were there already. There are no unicorns. He didn't even slap a cone on the top of the horse's head to make it look like a unicorn. He's just claiming that there are unicorns now. Every positive thing that he can hold up that his administration supposedly did is just completely made up. He's just making it up. What does that do to discourse in general? What does that do to our understanding of the truth? Just one of the many different ways in which the administration, I think, is just like destroying everything. Like, I don't know. I wish every world leader handled him like Jerome Powell did last week. They can't, because Jerome Powell has a lot more power over the American economy and therefore a lot more power over Donald Trump. Other world leaders would also have a lot more power over Donald Trump if they actually coordinated, collaborated, and maybe even hedged their bets against Donald Trump by having more positive relationships with China. But they're too fearful to do that, so they're just continuing along the vassal state mentality.
Well, it's going to be working with the United States. We'll be helping with the food. You know, we have a lot of access to food. We got a lot of food ourselves, and we're going to bring it over there. We're also going to make sure that they don't have barriers stopping people. You know, you've seen the areas where they actually have food, and the people are screaming for the food, and they're 35, 40 yards away, and they won't let them because they have lines that are set up. And whether they're set up by Hamas or whoever, but they're very strict lines, so we have to get rid of those lines. But we're going to be getting some good, strong food. We can save a lot of people. I mean, some of those kids that's real starvation stuff. I see it. And
yeah, there's real starvation stuff. Yeah, there's like, well, at least he is recognizing that there is real starvation stuff happening in the Gaza Strip. That's crazy. Oh my God. So many sources for discussion and news on Palestine is now blocked in the UK with the Online Safety Act. Yeah, I've heard about this as well. We'll cover that later. The UK is completely out of control. I mean, we're gonna get that. We're getting there as well. So fantastic stuff. It's great. Love living in the Western liberal democracy that is supposed to not allow things like this to happen ever. It's great.
You can't fake that. So we're going to be even more involved. We did some airlifts before, some airdrops, and the people are running for it. And the Prime Minister is going to help us. They're very effective with that. You've done that before, and for many, they've done that for 100 years very well. So it's not very hard to do, actually. Yes.
President, you say you love Scotland. You're the most Scottish president
Yeah, sure. You can come in. Yeah.
Is there a better deal to be done for Scotland, for Scottish industry, and the deal that you've done with the Prime Minister?
The tip of it is coming.
Whiskey, for example.
Well, I have great love for Scotland. You know, my mother loved Scotland, and she loved the Queen. I don't know. I might hurt myself by saying that the monarchists are going to like it. Some other people might, but she loved the Queen. Whenever the Queen was on television, she wanted to watch. And she would come back religiously. She'd come back to Scotland once a year with my sister Marion, primarily, and sometimes my sister Elizabeth also. But they loved this part of the world. And, you know, we're talking about the Isle of Lewis. We're talking about serious Scotland. That's serious Scotland. There was no doubt about it. So, yeah, it gives me a feeling, you know, it's different. You go to another country, you have no relationship to it. You get to like maybe the head of the country or something. But it's different when your mother was born here, Stornoway, right in Stornoway, a beautiful little place.
It's so hard looking at him after that movie, dude.
Because of your love of
Yeah, we watched The Apprentice last night, and it's strange. It's strange seeing Trump in the flesh after seeing, what's his name? Sebastian Stan,
who killed it.
Who played a really convincing young Trump, for sure. Oh, but B'Tselem finally said Israel's committing a genocide.
The New York Times did a push alert about it.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Now that B'Tselem has said it, I'm sure the New York Times will take it more seriously. Probably not.
Well, the New York Times was taking cues from B'Tselem already, so.
Yeah. They definitely were acknowledging that Israel was an apartheid state when B'Tselem was saying it.
Absolutely.
That's why sometimes I obviously am very critical of the idea that like it's only real if like an Israeli says it's real. Like that kind of like supremacist attitude that many people demonstrate, like the Matt Iglesiases of the world. But there are plenty of people who don't even listen when an American Jew is saying it or when an Israeli is saying it. Like they just don't give a shit.
And it seemed on, let's say, 3 occasions, it seemed that we were going to have a ceasefire and maybe peace, and you divide it up and you do whatever you have to do, that obviously to get to the end. And all of a sudden, missiles are flying into Kiev and other places. And I say, what's that all about? I spoke to him 3-4 hours ago, and it looked like we were on our way. And then I'd say, forget it, and I'm not going to talk anymore. You know, this has happened on too many occasions, and I don't like it. I don't like it.
You don't like it.
Social media sites. There are new powers here to censor your site, states mandate.
To censor.
The only thing he doesn't like about the Russia situation is that like his best friend has made him look like a fool.
My site?
Censor your site.
You mean Truth? Truth Social?
I mean Truth. Is that okay?
Well, I don't think he's going to censor my site because I say only good things. Will you please uncensor my site?
Yeah, we're not censoring anyone. We've got some measures which are there to protect children, in particular from sites like suicide sites. We've had too many cases in the United Kingdom of young children taking their own lives, and when you look through their social media, they've
bro, probably because they're living through your government. Probably because they're children forcing themselves to live in the UK under the rulership of Lord Kid Starver. Give them an opportunity to express themselves and enjoy themselves, and you know, maybe the situation will change a little bit.
accessing.
Yeah, I've been to Birmingham. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say. I've been to Birmingham for like, I think it was like what, 48 hours total, and I totally understand why the rate of suicide is up. Okay, if I was there for a little bit longer than 48 hours, I wouldn't be here right now. That's all I'm gonna say.
Sites which talk about suicide and encouraging, if you like, children down that road, and that is what we want to stop. Nothing about censoring free speech. This country is the proud free speech in this country has been for
48 hours. You were the happiest man in Birmingham. Yeah, because I knew I was gonna leave eventually. That's it. No, it's really bad. It's not. I'm not even like joking when I say this. It's literally like their most famous thing is a mall. Like they have like a shopping center.
I'm gonna be honest.
Is bad.
That's a lot of America, dude.
Oh, for sure. But also, but imagine now you're surrounded by English people, and the weather is. There are plenty of places in America like that, but it's raining all the time, or if it's not raining, it's incredibly gray, and everyone's like, "Well, you doing, lad? Hey, what you doing?" Imagine if everyone in Detroit was like that.
But I cannot imagine him censoring Truth Social.
Happiest
This
I just woke up in a
very
steaming
political.
mood, yeah? Because I live in a shithole. Do you know what I mean? Birmingham is a shithole. I hate the place. I hate it. It's full of dickheads. I hate it.
This is the happiest man in Birmingham. Happiest man in fucking Birmingham.
I just woke up in a steaming mood, yeah? Because I live in a shithole. Do you know what I mean? Birmingham is a shithole. I hate the place. I hate it. It's full of dickheads. I hate it.
I feel bad for the Broomies, yeah. You joke, but this man is among levels of mental zen by Birmingham standards. Yeah, no.
Brutal.
Yeah. One day, you'll all get liberated. Broomies.
They have.
You'll
don't
have
they?
a proper go at it, yeah. Hold on. It's Brummies, not Broom. Right. You know, it's Brummy. About to have a proper fish and chip breakfast, yeah. Mushy peas, bangers and mash.
Pea barn. No, wet pea barn.
Yeah, wet pea bomb, beans and toast. that blood sausage. Yeah, fucking hell.
You've seen the wet pee bomb video, right?
I don't. Maybe
It's the
Probably.
guy who's like,
Bosh.
smack pee bomb wet. Yeah, that's it. That's it.
You have said that you have not been briefed on the Epstein Files, or your name has not appeared in the Epstein Files.
Oh, this is where he said the planted thing, I bet.
have to tell you if your name is...
Well, I haven't been overly interested in it. You know, it's a hoax that's been built up way beyond proportion. I can say this, those files were run by the worst scum on earth. They were run by Comey, they were run by Garland, they were run by Biden and all of the people that actually ran the government, including the Autopen. Those files were run for 4 years by those people.
What?
If they had anything, I assume they would have released it. The whole thing is a hoax. They ran the files. I was running against somebody that ran the files. If they had something, they would have released. Now, they can easily put something in the files that's a phony. Like,
All right,
as an
there you
example, Christopher Steele, a person you know well, happens to be from your country. But Christopher Steele, as an example, wrote a book, a dossier. We call it the fake news dossier. And the whole thing was a fake. The whole thing was a fake.
Is that what we
They
call
can
it?
put things in the file that are fake. But those files were run by bad, sick people. If they had anything, why didn't they use it when I was killing Joe and then he gave out because he was 25 points down? And then I got somebody new. Nobody even knew anything about it. She was a horrible vice president.
I mean, good question.
She was a border czar, but she never
Perhaps-
went to the border. She never won.
Good question. Perhaps the exact same reason as to why you won't release the files as well, which is that it's mutually assured pedophilia. It's MAP. That's what I call it. It's like, yeah, because
I mean, it is like just super funny because like he's like in this like weird trap and he's not really figured out a way out of it where he's like responding to the criticism as if it's coming from the left. When we all know that the loudest, most angry people about this
are his guys.
Exactly. Like it's people who like have like fat heads of Dan Bongino on their wall or whatever.
And we love those brave patriots. Make no
Absolutely.
mistake. We think those brave patriots are right.
I want them to do a Harper's Ferry on like every single Republican like office looking for the trafficked children.
Yeah.
I would encourage this.
Yes. They demand answers. They are perfectly right to demand answers.
And I think, you know,
They need to uncover the global pedophilia conspiracy.
And if people were f***ing around with children, then these guys should find out about it.
Yeah. So just remember that.
It's called a border patrol agent to find out how we're doing, but she was the border czar. Her name was Kamala. Nobody knows her last name. It was Harris, but nobody knew her last name. So I ended up, how would you like to end up in a race where you're killing somebody, you're beating him, and then they say, all right, we'll take him out. He's not working. Let's put somebody else. And then she had a 6-week honeymoon.
You know what's really funny? He does not bring up
It was
why
amazing.
he went
They
out.
predicted
Like, he
she will
makes
have a
it sound
6-week
like it was
honeymoon, and
losing,
she
he was
did.
so down in the polls.
And then she
it's because,
got slaughtered.
Like, I think he really can't bring up.
But
Like,
think of it.
It's because he was
Those
old.
files
His brain
were
was
run
bad.
by these
'Cause his
people. They
brain
were
is
run by
bad.
my
Exactly,
enemy.
exactly.
If there was anything in there, they would have used them for the election. Yeah.
Do you think that drawing, I think I heard you say something the other day, that the drawing that was the subject of the Wall Street Journal report,
I don't do drawings. I'm not a drawing person.
I think it was fraudulent?
I don't do drawings. Sometimes people say, would you draw a building? And I'll draw 4 lines and a little roof, you know, for charity stuff. But I'm not a drawing person.
Sometimes I draw, but I'm not a drawing person. Sometimes I draw. Yeah, because they were saying that you did the fucking Mona Lisa in that birthday thing, not just like the lady version of the thing from The Big Lebowski where the guy draws like a guy with a huge dick on a notepad, like for sure.
Yeah. I don't write draw.
Also, his signature is pretty much a drawing. Like it's such a distinctive, like it's an artistic signature.
He's a doodler. Not much is true. He's a doodler. He's a big doodler.
I do drawings of women. That I can tell you. They say there's a drawing of a woman, and I don't do drawings of women. And also, you know, Epstein was always a very controversial guy. I was at a very high position, you know, pretty much all my life. In all fairness, I've been doing this for a long time. I had the top show on television. I had the #1 bestsellers. I had everything, right? And I was a very successful business guy. He was a very controversial. Who would do a controversial drawing? Now, with that being said,
You motherfucker
You, you, dude.
Back then, you were on his ass cheeks.
Also,
dude.
like, grab him by the pussy, man. Like, don't, like, it is crazy how, like, we just know that you're this, like, you're a seedy motherfucker, dude. Like, we know it.
He is a sleazeball. Like, that's part of the reason why, that's part of his appeal. Like, he's supposed to be like a poor man's idea of what they would do if they got to that power, position of power. Now he's trying to be like all proper. When did this happen?
And people keep writing stories about the time he threw him out of Mar-a-Lago. Can you settle that? What was it about? What caused the breach with him?
That's such old history. Very easy to explain.
Oh, yeah, this
but I don't
I
want to
heard
waste
about.
your time by explaining it. But for years, I wouldn't talk to Jeffrey Epstein. I wouldn't talk because he did something that was inappropriate. He hired help. And I said, don't ever
That's
do
the
that
thing.
again.
He did something inappropriate. He stole staff from me. That's the breach. It wasn't sex stuff. He's such a dumbass, dude. He's such a fucking dumbass. Why open your mouth on? It's awesome.
I'm sorry. I did not hear this one. This is.
Yeah, dude.
I know he says it's a privilege to go to the island, and I didn't go. Like, but he hired help.
Very easy to explain, but I don't want to waste your time by explaining it. But for years, I wouldn't talk to Jeffrey Epstein. I wouldn't talk because he did something that was inappropriate. He hired help. And I said, don't ever do that again. He stole people that work for me. I said,
Did he think that this was like an appropriate way to say, like, that's why we cut ties? Is that
no?
what
It's yes, because think about it from his like, you know, like stupid little reptile brain. What he's thinking
'Cause he
is like,
doesn't wanna
listen, they think that we broke they think that we had a breach because like, you know, he wouldn't let me have sex with my favorite girl. But no, it wasn't actually because of that. It was because my like junior assistant secretary of what have you, he stole away to be like his new cabana girl at the Palm Beach house or whatever. Like that's like he thinks that is because it's like a it's a clean thing that it's like it's a good answer when obviously there's only one answer. If you are going to give an answer, there's only one answer that you should give, which is I stopped talking to him when I learned that he was a pedophile.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's simple.
It's like saying you cut ties with Adolf Hitler because you didn't like his drawings. Like, what the and people are like calling into question your deep allegiance to him. Just say it's like all of the other
Look, I'm glad I'm not Charlie Clerk and it's not my job to like have to figure out how to like contort
when
on
he was
this.
saying inappropriate, I thought he was gonna say like, oh, Ophelia. Like he's gonna bring it up in the classic Trump way where he like can't message it correctly, like he's a human being and not like a rapacious scumbag sociopath. Because he does have a way with words when it comes to like talking about like tricky situations where he'll be like, yes, all of these little girls drowned. Highest amount of drowning of little girls from the standpoint of water. It's like, dude, that's crazy. I thought he was going to do that. He was going to be like, oh, it's inappropriate that he was like trying to little girls. Nope. Hired my masseuse.
don't ever do that again. He did it again. And I threw him out of the place, persona non grata. I threw him out, and that was it. I'm glad I did, if you want to know the truth. And by the way, I never went to the island, and Bill Clinton went there supposedly 28 times. I never went to the island, but Larry Summers, I hear, went there. He was the head of Harvard. And many other people that are very big people. Nobody ever talks about them. I never had the privilege of going to his island. And I did turn it down, but a lot of people in Palm Beach were invited to his island.
Oh, he then has to say like, no, you don't understand. I was invited to File Island.
But it's like, it's also, he just said two contradictory things. It was a privilege and a lot of people in Palm Beach were invited.
Yeah.
Like, I can't.
It was a privilege. I was invited. I just chose not to go.
I think it's a good test.
It's classic.
I think it's a good test, though, of like it doesn't sound like Jeffrey Epstein was necessarily like the coolest or most attractive guy. However, like there's certain people who it's like there's like, oh yeah, like if you want to come like hang out on my private island with this mysterious guy who we don't really know how he makes his money, but he seems a little weird. Like most people are like, you know what, pass. I'll pass on that one. And then other people are like, sign me up. I love private islands, and I don't care about the mystery of how somebody acquired one. And I can totally believe that somebody like Trump gets it mixed up on the level of like remembering like why like that this isn't seen as a good thing necessarily.
I will say, like, any other person making this kind of an argument would get understandable ire from their base of support. They'd be like, what do you mean a lot of your best friends went to the File Island and you were invited and you're calling it a privilege? But Donald Trump is the guy that doesn't get that kind of scrutiny in a situation like this, even though he's failing spectacularly. Wait, we got a defender. HasanAbi, the way you were covering it, like it's a serious thing and not mere sarcasm, hurts your credibility as well. Just let it go. We have a Turkish Donald Trump defender in the chat saying, oh, he was just being sarcastic, dude. Calm down.
I'm gonna be honest, it's like, I don't think he was like seriously trying to call it an honor. That's why it's like that guy's tweet is correct about it being a Freudian slip.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how to stress this enough. If you're the president of the United States, even if like you're like, if you're just trying to get out of this, I have a really hard time believing that, saying like, look, I never had the privilege
of going to the pedophilia island.
right, as you're also describing all the other like powerful people who went there. Like, it's not, I don't know what to say, man. Like, it's just not the way to express that.
He wasn't being sarcastic. He f***ed up and said it was a privilege.